What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Rashid again, and I welcome you to another show, another episode of our talk on higher study abroad. We are so happy to have Dr. Anna Wise from Hamilton College, New York, United States today. And she will be talking about her college, the opportunities of international students to be admitted and possible scholarship to be there. She is currently serving as the Associate Dean of Admission and Director of International Recruitment. So let's welcome Dr. Wise. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I am doing very, very well. I am so pleased to be with you today. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very, very excited for the session.
Awesome. Thank you. So we were just talking a moment ago. You said you have been to Bangladesh before?
Yes. I just recently, I was there in October, where I was able to visit with the Education USA centers in Dhaka. It was really
awesome. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we basically have a student population from different levels, like mostly from grads. So we can say about 60% from grad level and 40% from undergrad. That's the rough estimation. And the students may have different questions based on, the students may have a question based on from where they're actually applying. So some of the questions may have, like, if they need a GRE. So first of all, I want to clarify something, that GRE is for grad admission.
Yes, that's correct.
We'll be focusing on undergrad admission. So any question pertaining to SAT, ACT, or if they accept IELTS instead of TOEFL. So those are pretty much relevant questions. So we're going to organize the show in a structured format. So first, in the first part, Dr. Wise will be given a PowerPoint presentation, and then we will slowly move to the question and answer session. So hold your question for a moment. And I'm actually going to share a link on behalf of Dr. Wise where you can directly register for further information. Is that correct, Dr. Wise?
Right. So if you complete this link, what you're saying is, please send me a little bit more information about Hamilton, in addition, specific virtual events that we would be doing for international applicants.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So over to Dr. Wise.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Dr. Rashid. As I said, it's my privilege and pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. Hello from my home in New Hartford, New York, where I am similar to a lot of you. We have some working from home environments here in New York, but I'm very excited to talk to you about Hamilton College, which is the institution where I work. So at Hamilton, we are one of the older colleges of liberal arts in the United States and in the state of New York. Now, it's important to note, when we think about the state of New York, oftentimes we think about the very big city, right? State of New York is actually quite a large location. So I always like to indicate that we are actually a rural-based campus. We are surrounded by beautiful mountains, the Adirondack Mountains, and we are about 4 hours from the state of from New York City, also 4 hours from Toronto, and 4 hours from Boston. The closest city to us is called Utica. That said, with our ranking, we are ranked number 14 nationally for colleges of liberal arts, and we have just under 2,000 students. Now, this includes students from 49 different countries, and yes, from Bangladesh as well. It is important, as Dr. Rashid indicated, that we are only a bachelor's or undergraduate level institution. So if you ask graduate level questions, unfortunately, I may not have the best response for you, just because my institution reserves all of its resources and all of its programming for undergraduate students. We have a little bit more information here about Hamilton College, as we like to say, just the facts, some information about us that may be of interest to you as an applicant. Now, that said, Hamilton College makes 3 promises to each student who is admitted. The first is the idea of study what you love. We have an open curriculum at Hamilton, which is quite different than some of the structured curriculum opportunities in Bangladesh, where oftentimes you would select your academic stream and you would study in the same subject all the way through. So Hamilton College has an open curriculum, which allows students to work with careful academic and career advising with some of our faculty members, but to design their own academic study plan. So if you're interested in studying computer science, but you're also interested in learning about the ethics of some of the programming programs that you may initiate, a liberal arts degree, which celebrates interdisciplinary study, is a great place to start. And Hamilton takes this a little bit further, where we allow each student to design their own academic plan. Again, with very careful supervision from highly qualified faculty members. We call this Study What You Love. It does also mean that about 20% of our students would have a double academic major. So they may be an economics major as well as a mathematics major. Indicating mathematics majors, Hamilton is actually quite well known for our mathematics program. We consistently graduate a higher percentage of math major graduate students than institutions such as MIT, Caltech, and University of Chicago. So we are very strong in the STEM as well as humanities, and our special focus is that we have this open curriculum. That said, we also have great research opportunities. We are an undergraduate-only institution, which means that all of our student research is done by bachelor's level students. You can see here we have over $500,000 US designated each year for independent research that is conducted by students. Those are undergraduate and bachelor's level students. If you wish to do research at Hamilton College, you have the opportunity to join a faculty research team your first semester, or to do your own independent research starting your first summer in between terms. And we do have, in fact, quite a few students who will select both options. Now, the next thing is that I want to indicate in the academic section is the idea of study abroad and study away. Now, considering studying in the US is already studying abroad, and it is a very brave thing that you're considering doing. However, if you wish to come to the US, then it's probably a good idea to get experience in a variety of locations. We have a study away program, which allows students to have a full-time internship and live and study in one of the major exciting cities in the US. Those are Boston, New York City, and Washington, D.C. And the way these programs work is you would have a full-day internship. You would travel with about 16 other students who are also doing internships and a faculty member. So then you would take classes in the evening, therefore being a full-time academic student while also having a full-time internship in one of the major US cities. The next promise that we make to all students is to be who you are. And this celebrates the fact that we have a diversity of student perspectives at Hamilton College. We have students from 47 different states across the US. Remember, there are 50, so we're working on those last 3. And then 49 different countries. 16% of our students are the first in their family to go to college, so their family did not go to college previously. And over half of our students are on financial aid. 100% of our students do live on campus all 4 years, unless they are studying abroad or studying away. We have a very strong athletic program as well at Hamilton College. We participate in the NESCAC, which is the New England division, which includes colleges such as Williams and Tufts. The last promise that we make to all of our students is to find your future. This talks about career outcomes. Every student, when they're admitted to Hamilton College, is provided with an academic and a career advisor. Your career advisor would start working with you the summer before you come to the campus and working with you to talk about what big world problems exist that you'd be interested in learning more about. How do we ensure you have research and internship experiences that will prepare you for a career that is fulfilling? Now, our alumni network is another very strong strength we have for career outcomes. We consistently place in the top 1% in the US for engagement with the college after they graduate. Our alumni network include Pulitzer Prize winners, one of the co-founders of Netflix, and the current CEO of Goldman Sachs, as well as many more. You can find some of that information on our website. Some of the outcomes that are quite notable: 97% of our students are either in graduate school, have received fellowships, or are employed actively within 10 months of graduation. 97% of our students also graduate with at least one internship. 81% of our students will have 2 internships, and also 81% of our students have had 2 interviews before they have graduated. So the results of a Hamilton education speak for themselves. The last secret promise that we make is that we strive to be surprisingly affordable. We have a lot of students will talk about scholarship, and they'll say, what type of scholarships do you offer? We do not offer academic merit or athletic scholarship, music scholarship, nothing along those lines, because instead we decide to use our financial funding for scholarships to provide opportunity to students from around the world who would be qualified, would be successful at Hamilton, but might not otherwise be able to afford it. Therefore, we have a promise which we make to all students, which is if you are admitted to Hamilton College, we will ask you for some financial documents through the process, but we will guarantee to meet 100% of the demonstrated financial need that you have. and this includes international students. So some students come to Hamilton and pay the full costs, and other students come to Hamilton and have no ability to pay for U.S. education, flights, books, or anything along those lines. We accept students in both categories, and we have students who are coming to Hamilton where Hamilton funds everything from their medical insurance, their food, their airfare, all of those types of things. The final thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit about our application review process. So we are a selective institution, which means that there are more students who apply each year than we have a position in our college. So if you want a little bit of advice and information about our application, I'm going to talk about that. So the first thing we of course need to consider is, would a student be academically prepared and academically successful in our difficult academic sessions? So we are of course looking at, that's where we consider things like your mark sheets, your examination results. Have you taken A levels, O levels? What curriculum were you in? We're also going to be looking at test scores that includes English proficiency scores. However, we are also going to be thinking about the fact that we are a fully residential campus, and our students are very involved and very engaged in research, internships, clubs, theater, music. So we want to know a little bit more about you and how would you contribute to our environment at Hamilton, which is how we're going to look at your references, your extracurricular activities, some other aspects. Now, it's important to note also some deadlines. So unfortunately, the application for this fall in 2020 is closed. We're already completed for that. So we have an upcoming deadline, which is going to be November 15th. That would be for starting in August 2021. Now we have 3 types of applications you can submit. These are all done through Common App or through Coalition App. I can answer questions if you have questions about this. Basically, you have different deadlines and different academic plans. So if you decided that Hamilton College was your top choice, and if we were to admit you that you would definitely enroll, you can apply either Early Decision 1 or Early Decision 2. I've put the word binding there because when you apply under one of those plans, you are indicating that you promise, if Hamilton admits you, to enroll. The only reason that we would release you from that binding agreement would be for financial aid purposes, if for some reason there's a disagreement we can't overcome. Otherwise, we have a regular decision on January 1st, which would allow you to apply to many different schools and consider then which institution you wish to attend. You might think, why would I do a binding plan if I could just do regular? It is important to note that for schools that offer early decision plans, they often have higher admission rates. So I indicated at the top 16 to 25% over the past 3 years. That is an average. However, we do publish on our website a profile for students who were admitted this last year, and you can see the admission rates across different plans. If you indicate that Hamilton is your top choice, you will likely have a higher chance of admission. So that is the benefit and the trade-off. So it is important that if you wish to apply early decision, you are making sure to do so at the college which is your top choice. Additionally, I wanted to highlight, we do have opportunities for engagement with the college. We have a webpage called called Discover Hamilton. And that allows you to have virtual engagement opportunities, virtual interviews, virtual information sessions, and to connect more with our college. With that said, I thank you again for inviting me today, and I am very, very happy to answer any questions that you may have. Oh, I believe that you are muted, Dr. Rashid.
I'm sorry, I apologize. So I actually meanwhile sent you the link, the active link, if you want to share the network. So thank you so much for the quick, brief intro. Fantastic. I have a couple we're still waiting for the audience to ask questions because in live show, people usually take some time to.
Right. Absolutely.
So the students need the English proficiency test, and TOEFL is the most popular test.
Right.
Do you guys also take IELTS instead of TOEFL?
Yes. So thank you for asking that question. Most students will require a test of English proficiency. However, we are striving to be flexible. So if students wish to submit an IELTS score, not an issue. TOEFL, not an issue. TOEFL at home, not an issue. We also accept the Duolingo English test, which can actually be taken from a home computer, is less expensive. We will accept that as well.
Awesome. Because of COVID-19, Duolingo is getting popularity. So you have any minimum cutoff, like for IELTS, you need a 6 or 6.5 or so?
We do not have minimum cutoffs because we have a holistic application review, so we consider everything together. However, it's likely a student would be competitive with an IELTS of a 7.
Okay, so for the people who usually qualify for the financial aid, what are the common criteria they possess?
So our financial aid policy is exactly as I said. So we don't have an additional component. Every student who's admitted, if you select that you wish to be considered for financial aid, would be given that financial aid package meeting 100% of their demonstrated financial need. So part of the process would be asking for some financial documents, some forms that your family would submit saying, this is approximately the amount we believe we can contribute. And then our financial aid office would work with each student individually and would cover the remaining cost of attendance at Hamilton College for any student who's admitted.
Okay. We got a question from Zabit. So I think she already answered this question. They don't have any cutoff. So it's like
we don't have a cutoff, but we recommend probably around a 7 in order to be competitive.
Yeah, awesome. Syed asked a question, is GRE? No, they don't have graduate programs. So I actually explained this before. They have undergrad programs. So GRE is, they don't have a program that requires GRE.
Right. So the GRE would be only for graduate level studies. So we do not require that. So
another common question, like most of the students we counsel, they want to go to STEM subjects. So we usually have fewer students who want to go to study BBA.
Right.
So you want to tell us something about your STEM subjects like computer science, engineering?
Absolutely. So we have we have a computer science major. We have biology, chemistry, biochemistry. We have pre-med as a concentration. We have, as I mentioned, mathematics. We're very well known for our mathematics program. For engineering, we have an agreement with 2 institutions where you would major in physics, and then after 3 years of study at Hamilton, you would transition to one of our partner institutions, which are Columbia University and Dartmouth College. So you would graduate then with
Columbia and Dartmouth.
That's right. So you would graduate then with 2 degrees. You would have a degree from Hamilton, which would be a physics bachelor's, and then you would finish an additional 2 years, and you would graduate then with a degree from Columbia or from Dartmouth with an engineering degree. So while we don't have engineering on our campus, we have a pre-engineering and an agreement with Columbia and Dartmouth.
Yeah, that's a prestigious pathway. Yeah, awesome.
Yes.
So a little bit about the alumni who graduate and they go to, you gave an statistics like 97% get the job placement within 10 months or so.
Yes.
So I believe you have some sort of career fair to prepare the students and build the network with the employers.
So we have a variety of programs that we do for students. So we have we have a variety of over 120 different companies will come to our campus in order to recruit our students. In terms of international students, of course, there's the additional concern about OPT, H-1B, and all of that. I'm not sure we have time to go into all of that right now, but we do have employers who come to campus seeking international students. There's increasing demand for companies such as Amazon, Pepsi, et cetera, for international citizens who have a U.S. education from a top U.S. institution. Right. So we have very strong partnerships with industry. We also have career counselors that are, we go further than the traditional U.S. institution because we assign each student an individual career advisor who works with them on a one-on-one basis saying what types of careers would be interested in pursuing and how do we make sure you have internships that will position you for success after graduation. And that's really where you get those quite high statistics is because we're helping the student prepare for the career throughout.
Awesome. So your office processes the OPT and CPT documents, right?
Not true. So I partner with our Dean of Students office, which is where our very strong international advisors work. So I work very closely with them, but my responsibility traditionally comes helping students navigate the application process. I also am one of the scary people who reviews the applications. So you have to be nice to me, is my joke. But once students enroll, then they would receive very strong advising from several different departments for immigration advising, those would be my colleagues in the Dean of Students office.
Yeah, right. We got a quick question from Mushfiqur. He asked, what
Mm-hmm.
about opportunity in statistics?
So would that be opportunities for internships, for job placements? I suppose that's a wider question, right? So statistics is one of those areas that has so many different applications. So if you were to be a math and statistics major, which are two majors within the same area at our college, we would pair you with, again, individual career advisors and also alumni that we have within industry. So assuming that you wish to do something in business industry, in STEM industry, we have a very extensive alumni list who are very engaged with the college. And one of the services that they offer for our students would be informational interviews. So if you wanted to know what type of opportunities do there exist in places like Wall Street for students with a mathematics or statistics background, we have alumni who are working there and would be happy to talk with you about their daily experience. We also have some students who will do job shadowing programs where they will go and follow a Hamilton alumni in places like Silicon Valley, in places like Washington, D.C., and have an experience of what does an actual day look like working for a tech startup in Silicon Valley.
Right,
so hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, thank you so much. So this is in New York, and this is like the not in the downtown, or this is, you said like a rural campus.
That's
so
correct.
A lot of greenery.
Yes.
That's beautiful. And also this is 100% residential college, right? The students, they lived in the dorms.
Yes.
So what I have seen, like the people who have to manage their own apartments versus the people who go to the residential colleges, they have different views or opinions regarding this. So what I have seen, people who go to the 100% residential colleges will stay in the dorm. They have better mingling with the American students. So they get assimilated to the culture much faster. So you want to add some points?
I would agree with that. In Hamilton, we are very, very, community is at the core of everything we do, which means every student that we bring to Hamilton, international, US, everyone has the same opportunities and the same experience. So none of the internships, research, club experiences that we have would be reserved for someone based on citizenship. Every student has the same experiences. Now, with the residential campus environment does also mean, as you said, students are integrated more quickly. So we do not place international students with other international students as their roommates. Instead, we make sure we do have a very careful housing selection process where students are able to indicate personality types and information that would be helpful to pair them with somebody who has a similar living habits, even if they're not necessarily from the same culture. And it really helps to build the safe and inclusive community that we enjoy.
Definitely. It really helps a lot. And people who do not get this opportunity, they always feel like they wish they had that opportunity, because this type of mingling that helps a lot in understanding the new culture,
right?
And get rid of the phobia, like you're mingling to a new culture. So you may have like language barrier, cultural barrier. So people who live in the dorm with local students, they learn a lot of things much faster. We have a quick question from Shad. Hey, Shad, thank you for asking. So does Hamilton College accept international transfer students?
Yes, we absolutely do. So all of the information that I shared with you earlier, which is that we promise to meet 100% of demonstrated financial need. We have a holistic review process. All of that is the same for international transfer students. We don't require any WEFs evaluations. So you would just send the academic transcripts from your college or university. We would also need proof of your secondary completion. And our deadlines are slightly different for transfer. So we have, we're still not accepting new applications for fall 2020, but we will bring in students for January 2021. And that deadline will also likely be in November. But yes, we'll absolutely accept.
Is that going to be impacted by COVID?
At this point, it's very hard to predict, of course, how COVID will play out. But I can tell you, we just did confirm our international transfer class for the fall semester, and we admitted the same rate. We don't have any intention to change our admission policies based on COVID.
Yeah, thank you. We got a relevant question in here. Are we going to have any full online-based degree or course due to this situation?
Hamilton College is not going to be investing in a full online course based on this situation. So the COVID-19 outbreak is obviously unfolding differently around the world. Now, one of the benefits that we have, frankly, in this time frame is that we are a small rural campus 4 hours from the major cities, which means while there may be a lot of institutions that have to go online, particularly for this year, and the decision has not officially been made since it's still a few months away, I do believe that Hamilton has a much stronger likelihood of being able to be on campus just because of the nature of the type of institution we are, and the fact that we are located in a beautiful rural area, which does not put us in a very highly populated area, which allows us to be a little safer. Now, that said, it is important to note that Hamilton did go remote for after mid-March this year. However, when that decision was made, we understood that some of our students, and particularly our international students, would have challenges in making sure they were able to arrive home. So the college actually put together a program where we were able to work with each student individually in our student center, where we ensured that each student had access to technology, to reliable Wi-Fi, and we purchased laptops and portable Wi-Fi connections for students to make sure they had access to that. And also, did they have access to airfare? So we actually purchased flights to students to places like India and Nepal to make sure that students were able to go home safely. And if a student was not able to safely travel, we do have about 40 or so international students who are currently on campus due to travel restrictions where it was not necessarily considered safe. So the college is working very, very carefully with each impacted student to make sure that our students are safe and they also have the tools and supplies they need in order to be successful. But our intention is to be online, be on campus, excuse me.
Yeah. That's awesome. That demonstrates how careful, how much care you take for your international students. I think I should have asked this question before, but I forgot to ask. What is the total number of international students?
We have just about 200 international students. And that's, again, remember that we have 2,000 is the overall population. So we're generally somewhere between 7 and 10%. And that just really comes down to what do you consider international. There's a few designations within there. Students on behalf of students on. But it's about between 7 and 10%, depending how you cut the data.
Yeah, I think I just one thing I wanted to add, like if you open CNN or any news today, you may see a different picture of New York, what is happening in the US. So this campus, Hamilton College, is not in the downtown of New York.
We are 4 hours distance from that location. So the town that we're
have some benefits in some cases.
Right. So we are a very, very safe campus environment. We are 4 hours from the major cities. The city that is closest to us is Utica, which is the 8th largest city in New York, and it's 25 minutes from us. The town that's at the bottom of our hill is called Clinton, and there are 2,000 people who live in that town. So it's quite a different environment than Manhattan skyscrapers.
Yeah, it's different. It's not what you see in CNN today.
No.
Okay. So we got a question from Moni. Brother Moni, how are you? Thank you so much for asking. Dr. Wise, you have mentioned that if a student enrolled at your school to get a Bachelor of Engineering degree, you have to enroll in physics program and transfer to Columbia to get the engineering diploma, which is additional 2 years of schooling.
It's true.
So you have to go to school for 5 years to engineering diploma?
This is true. Now, this is an important note. So some students think that it's a bad thing. The reality, and I would encourage you very strongly to research the approximate time frame that it usually takes to complete an engineering degree in the US. So you'll find that on average, most schools, even if they offer their own in-house engineering program, it ends up being 5 or 5.5 years. And that's because of the specific sequence of courses that students have to take for engineering. It's quite a specific regimented schedule for schools that don't have the open curriculum, such as Hamilton. So yes, it is true. If you wish to do the engineering program at Hamilton, you would have 3 years physics at Hamilton and then 2 years of engineering. So it would be a total of 5, correct?
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is a very nice question. And he got another question. I believe this is also nice. Do you mind to just read it? My baby's crying in the back, so let me quickly take care of him.
So we have a program to place international students in a host family, local family, so those international students can adapt to the local culture, especially during the holiday seasons when international students are homesick. So this is a good question. In terms of a host family, we have a couple different programs. So the first is we do not have a residential home family system because all of our students, international, domestic, everyone lives in our residence halls on campus, unless they are studying abroad or studying away. However, we do have adoptive family type programs, which would allow students to get an experience of a family culture in the US. We have several different versions of this. So one of the things that was mentioned was over holiday seasons. So we have programs where members of the Hamilton community will open our doors to international students, particularly for events such as the U.S. holiday of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a U.S. holiday we have in November, where we celebrate family, food, and what we are grateful for. So these types of programs, we have several locations where international students would be able to join with American families. Right now, as I mentioned, we have about 40, that's 40, international students who are in our residence halls who are not able to return home for whatever types of reasons. And this could be travel barriers, this could be a lack of airline flights, this could be safety measures. So we have about 40 students on campus. And for those students, we have provided each of them with with two different types of liaisons. The first is a member of the faculty who is ensuring that each of these students has academic growth and progression and all of the resources they need in order to be successful in academics. The other is a staff and a personal liaison who is a member of the Hamilton community who's looking out for the well-being of each student. So I myself am paired with one of the current Hamilton students who's in a residence hall, where I'm his personal liaison. So I check in with him, I talk to him, we go on walks and picnics over weekends, things like that. They're socially distancing, of course. But I would say Hamilton has many opportunities for pairing students with Americans to learn about cultures and family events and things like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We got a long question. I'm not sure if...
Okay, so let's see. Scholarship financial aid criteria. This person has completed a BA and an MA. Okay, unfortunately, you're already too qualified for Hamilton College. If you have a BA, you have an MA, we only offer bachelor's level programs. So we do not offer a PhD. So I do not believe that we would be the right institution for you. But congratulations on your accomplishments.
Yeah, thank you so much. He should be looking for many other places, because many grad programs should be able to help him with his design program.
Right. Unfortunately, just not Hamilton College.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Weiss, for your time and helping the students. So I believe students will be asking more questions in the comment section. So I already posted the link that you provided, so they can go to that link and reach out for asking questions.
Absolutely. Please do use that link. And again, remember, when you're filling out that link, what you're doing is you're saying, yes, I would like to learn more about Hamilton-specific programs. I would like to know more about programs you're doing for international students. And if you ever decide you no longer want to hear from Hamilton, you can always unsubscribe, no problem.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. And you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you so much. It was our pleasure to be here. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.